Vyasa also goes on to say, Vedat Sangopanishadaha. In the last chapter of the Drona Parvam, Mahabharatam, he says, he goes on to say, and then he himself at one point, he says to Arjuna, Vedat Sangopanishadaha Puranat Dhyatma Nishchayaha Yadatra Paramam Guhyam Savai Devo Maheshwaraha. Whatever that is highly mysterious in the Puranas, Upapuranas, Smritis, Itihasas, Vedas, Upanishads, whatever that is highly mysterious, Yadatra Paramam Guhyam, the highest secret, Guhyam means secret, Savai Devo Maheshwaraha, it refers to only Devadi Deva Maheshwara Samba Shiva, O Arjuna. Even if I have to recount about the glories of Lord Shiva for thousands and thousands of years, I wouldn't be able to complete, because there are so much glories of Lord Shiva. Even Vishnu or Brahma cannot understand Lord Shiva. So how can I? So Vyasa says that to Arjuna. Vedak Sangopanishadaha. So all these things should be connected. As I said in the beginning of this Gita Jayanti class, the 700 verses is present as a part of Mahabharata, which contains 1,25,000 verses. It's like, if you try to extract, a 50 chapter book is there, and then you try to read the chapters from 28 to 30, it wouldn't make sense. You would not be able to, conclude what is the essence of the book. When you read everything, you will know. So like that, you will have to read the entire Mahabharata to understand how this Bhagavad Gita actually glorifies Lord Shiva, and also the Puranas and Upapuranas. Very, very important. It's like taking the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses out of Bhishma Parama and trying to understand will not make sense. Reading it as a whole will make sense and make you come to the understanding that Shiva is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And then just like I'll be answering some of the objections that have been raised, and then we'll be coming to a close. We'll be looking at the takeaway points, and then from tomorrow onwards I'll be continuing the Shiva Leela. I'll come to that. So Bhagavad Gita 1865, where actually it says, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. So this actually, Krishna talks from the Antaryami Bhavam. As we saw, Param hi Brahma Katitam Yoga Yuktena Tanmaya. I was in yogic union with the Supreme Reality. I was in yogic union. Now if you ask me to repeat Bhagavad Gita, I cannot. Krishna says that to Arjuna in Ashvamedha Parvam, 16th chapter. So, it refers to the Antaratma. So, Man Mana Bhava Madbhakto. So, think of me means think of Lord Shiva. That's what the Upanishads also say. Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogadavaihi. Become Shiva Bhakta and worship Lord Shiva and offer your prostrations to Lord Shiva, and thus you will attain Mahadeva without fail. Because Krishna is speaking from the Antaratma Bhava. We saw that. Yoga Yuktena. And then, the famous verse, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. This is told by Lord Shiva to Rama in the 14th chapter, 43rd verse in Shiva Gita. Just casting aside everything, just surrender to me. Mamekam. Shiva Eko Dhyayaha. Tatpara Atparato Ishas Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. Umasahayam Parameshwaram Prabham. Trilochanam Neelakantam Prashantam. That personality who is described as golden, five-faced, 10-handed, having Mata Parashakti on his left lap, who is three-eyed, who is having the Chandra on his forehead, and also who is Neelakanta, who is blue-throated, who is the Lord of all the Pashus, who is the ultimate controller, who doesn't have any controller beyond him, who is wearing the skin of Narasimha as his garment, who is, always dwells in the, the Maha Kailasha or Para Kailasha. That personality alone is the object of meditation. These are some of the features that Vedas itself describe. So, Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva says that to Rama, Sarvadharman Parityajya, just casting aside everything, just surrender unto me. Shiva do perform Shiva Eko Dhyayaha. And then as told in the Atharvashika Upanishad, Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo, I'll relieve you from all the sins and give you moksha. And the same comes in the Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter 66th verse, again told by Lord Shiva through Krishna to Arjuna. Speaker is actually Lord Shiva, and also the Tatparyam is Mahadeva. Interestingly, that same verse comes in Ishvara Gita also. Mahadeva says, 11th chapter, 81st to the 82nd verse. Lord Shiva says to the sages, Chetasa, but with a slight modification. But the meaning is the same. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha nirashir nirmamo bhutva mamekam sharanam brajit. Just surrender to me. To get rid of all the karma. To get rid of all the karma, you have to surrender to me. One who is bound by karma cannot liberate you. One who is karma free only can liberate you. One who is beyond the three modes of material nature, one who is beyond papa punya, one who is beyond karma, anava and mala. One who is Shuddha Sattva only can liberate you, and that is Lord Shiva, according to the Vedas and Upanishads. And so that's what is told in the 81st chapter of the 81st verse of the 11th chapter Ishvara Gita. Mamekam Sharanam Braja, Lord Shiva says. And then Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 5th verse in the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, 8th verse, there is a phrase called Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram. So yoga, he is already in yogic union with Paramashiva, as told in Ashvamedha Parvam Param Hi Brahma Katitam Yoga Yuktena Tanmaya. So here it says Yogam Aishwaram. Through the yogic union, I will show you the divine form of Ishvara. That's what it means here. Because Aishwaram comes from the root word Ishvara, the controller. And how we saw in the beginning, last class on Sunday, we saw how Ishvara, Maheshwara, Parameshwara, Mahadeva, all these epithets are used in the Upanishads specifically for Lord Shiva, highlighting only Mahadeva. And even Ishvara, Parameshwara, Maheshwara comes in Bhagavad Gita also, referring to Lord Shiva only. So whenever Krishna says Aham or Mam, it refers to the Antaratma. It doesn't refer to Vishnu, Krishna. It doesn't refer to the Vishnu or Krishna. It refers to Lord Shiva, who is the Antaratma, because he is speaking in yogic union with Paramashiva. And then here another, I think there are like, two more things. So Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 19th verse. So this was asked by many people. And there is another thing also, objection. So two more things only, and then I'll be closing for the day. So here it says, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevaha sarvamiti samahatma su durlabhaha. So here people will be confused. Vasudeva sarvamiti. But here we have to understand it very carefully. Again, we cannot take this one verse and then try to understand everything. On the whole, we saw how Bhagavad Gita is Shiva Svarupam, as told in Padma Purana, Uttarakanda, 175th chapter by Narayana to Lakshmi. How Vyasa explains to Arjuna that actually it's Lord Shiva who came to favor you and Krishna in the last chapter of Drona Parvam, Mahabharatam. Ashvamedha Parvam, Krishna himself says in the 16th chapter that I was in yogic union with Maheshwara, Param Hi Brahma Katitam. And that is confirmed by, again, Kurma Purana, Vyasa to Arjuna in the first canto, 30th chapter, 60th and the 61st verse. Drishtavanasitam devam vishvaksham vishpatomukam. You saw the divine form, divine universal vision. You had the universal vision of Maheshwara, and Hrishikesha came as Guru for you to show you the divine form of Maheshwara. So Vishnu is Guru only. That Guru explains about Shiva Tattva, and that Mahadeva is the Tatparyam of Bhagavad Gita. So here Vasudevaha Sarvamiti. So how to understand this? In general, Vasudeva. So Vasu generally means the inner spirit, or the Antaryami, the soul, who is the soul of the universe and who is the soul of all the living entities. And Deva is that Lord. So that if you see in the Upanishads, Hritpundarikam Virajam Vishuddham Vichintya Madhye Vishatam Vishokam Achintyam Avyaktam Anantarupam Shivam Prashantam Amritam Brahma Yonim Umasahayam Parameshwaram Prabham Trilochanam Neelakantam Prashantam Vyatva Munurgacchati Bhutayonim Samasta Saksham Tamasak Parastad. That personality who is with Uma and who is described as Neelakanta and who is three-eyed is actually residing in the heart of all the living entities. So that is one thing. And then Kailasa Shikara Basa Himavad Giri Samstitaha Neelakantam Trinetram Cha Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. The same features are described in the Shiva Sankalpa Suktam also. Panchabrahma Upanishad. Asmin Brahmapure Veshmadakaram Yedidam Mune Pundarikam tu Tanmadye Akasho Dakarostitat Sa Shivaha Sachidanandaha Sonveshtabhyo Mumukshvihi Ayam Hridi Stitaha Sakshi Sarvesham Avisheshataha Tenayam Hritayam Proktaha Shivaha Samsara Mochakaha. That personality who liberates you from all the, from the samsara, from the ocean of samsara, who is actually five-faced, and he is residing in the heart of all the living entities. He is residing in the Daharakasha or Kritayakasha. Devanagam Kritayebhyo. Rudram says, ninth Anuvakam, it ends by saying, Devanagam Kritayebhyo Namo. So he is present in the heart of the Devas also, in Brahma and Vishnu, even in the heart of Brahma and Vishnu. And then Narayana Suktam explains how Mahadeva and Mata Parashakti are residing in the heart of Narayana. Padmakosha pratikashakam hridagam chapyadomakam mado nishtyavidasyante nabhyamuparitishthati jwalamala kulambati vishwasyayatanam mahat. It goes on to say, and then hridagam satyam param brahma purusham krishna pingalam urdvaretam virupaksham vishwarupam namamyaham. Mahadeva is present as actually in this divine form, Ardhanari form, with three eyes, and also Virupaksha, Vishwarupa, who is all pervading, and then Urdhvareta. These are specific epithets for Lord Shiva, which doesn't come for anybody. Krishna Pingalam is used like 50 times in the Puranas for Lord Shiva. It comes in the Valmiki Ramayanam and Mahabharatam for Lord Shiva. Kanishta Krishna Pingalaha, Shiva Sahasranamam, 17th chapter of the Anushasana Parvam. Upamanyu says, Kanishta Krishna Pingalaha is one of the names that comes in the Shiva Sahasranama. Again, it comes in another place. So, which refers to Krishna, refers to dark, that is Parashakti Mata, and then Pingala is golden or yellow, that is Mahadeva. So, we have various references for that. So, all these things I said because Lord Shiva is that Antaratma of even Brahma and Vishnu. Even Devatas like Brahma and Vishnu, Lord Shiva is actually described as the inner soul or the inner spirit, or who is present as the soul of all the living entities, and also who is the soul of the entire universe. So, and we have many references. Atharva Shiras, Hridi Tvamasi. The Devas say Hridi Tvamasi. Oh Mahadeva, you reside in the Hridaya. When they do a stuti to Lord Shiva, Hridi Tvamasi yo nityam tisro matraha parastusaha. You are eternal and you reside in the Hridaya. Tisro matraha parastusaha. You are beyond the three states of consciousness. Atharva Shika also says this. And then Kaivalya, Shvetashvatara, very often. For every 3 verses, Lord Shiva is described as residing in the heart of all the living entities. Krida hridistam manasa biklipto ya etad vidiramritaste bhavanti angushta matraha purushantaratma sada jananam kridaye sannivishtaha. Every 2 verses, every 3 verses, he is described as living in the Kritaya of all the living entities. And how Shvetashvatara Upanishad aligns with Lord Shiva only, we have seen that. So, the reason I said that is, here it says Vasudeva. It doesn't mean the son of Vasudeva. No, the Krishna's father was named as Vasudeva. So, Vasudeva Sutam iti Vasudevam nahi. So, it doesn't mean the son of Vasudeva. It actually refers to the inner soul who is residing in the heart of all the living entities and who is the soul of the universe. Vishwatmanam Parayanam. And that is Lord Shiva. He is also the Antaratma of Devatas like Brahma and Vishnu. Vishnu also. So that, the Vasudeva refers to that innermost soul. That soul of all the living entities and the soul of the universe. That Deva who is the soul of the entire universe and the soul of all the living entities. And that is Lord Shiva. So we have to understand from that sense. And not, cherry pick verses and then out of context and then try to understand. From the overall perspective, we have understood how Lord Shiva is the Tatparyam. And we cannot cherry pick these verses and try to, misinterpret. So that's about it. So Vasudeva. And moreover, another thing I wanted to bring up is Sarvamiti, it says, right? So Upanishads, what does it say? Sarvo vai rudrastasmai rudraya namo asto purusho vai rudrasanmaho namo namaha. Sarvo vai rudraha. Sarvo Hyesha Rudraha. 3 times it comes in the same Upanishad that Mahadeva is that all-pervasive personality. He is present as everything. Sarvo Vai Rudraha. So that's about it. Okay. So, And then another objection, Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter 15th verse. Pashyami devam stavadeva dehe sarvam stata bhuti vishesha sangan brahmanamisham kamalasanastam rishimscha sarvan uragamscha divyan. So one important point to be noted here is actually the Shaiva Aradhyas or the Shaiva Acharyas who have commented on Bhagavad Gita, like Abhinava Gupta, Nagalinga Garu, or Shrikanta Aradhya, and also Siddhayappa, Abhinava Gupta. And there are many other people also who have spoken about this. Shripati Pandita Aradhya also brings this point in his Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. And the Advaita Acharyas who have commented on this specific verse have not translated that Isham to Lord Shiva. It's only the Vaishnava Acharyas who have translated that Isham to Lord Shiva. Brahmanam Isham. I will explain that in detail, but I'm just telling in beforehand. So Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastam. So in order to denigrate Lord Shiva, they have said Brahma and then is sitting on the lotus flower. Kamalasanastam. Kamala means lotus. Sanastam. Asanam. In that lotus actually flower he is sitting, and then he is having also, Lord Shiva is also sitting in the lap of Brahma. This is what actually it say, but it doesn't even make sense. We'll see that because Mahadeva is actually the shower of Vishwarupa. We saw that. Kurma Puranam, 1st canto, 30th chapter, 60th and 61st verse, where it says, Drishtavanasi tam devam vishvaksham vishvato mukam pratyakshameva sarvesham rudram sarva jagadgurum jnanam tat aishwaram divyam yatavat viditam tvaya swayameva hrishikeshak prityovacha sanatanaha. So you have seen none other than the universal form of Maheshwara with the help of Hrishikesha. And Vishwarupa also we saw how the epithet Vishwarupam comes only for Lord Shiva in the Vedas and Upanishads. So Mahadeva is the shower of Vishwarupa. So none of the Advaita Acharyas or none of the Shaiva Aradhyas or Acharyas who commented on this verse have translated that Isham to Lord Shiva. It's only the Vaishnava Acharyas who have translated that to Lord Shiva. But we can understand how Isham here refers to an adjective. It doesn't refer actually to the personality Mahadeva. We'll be understanding that. So here it says Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastam Rishimscha Sarvan Uragamscha Divyan. Brahma, that is actually Brahmanam, that refers to Brahma. Isham is actually an adjective there where it refers to Brahma. Isha means generally Lord. Now Isha you find very often comes in the Upanishads for Lord Shiva. Ishavasya idagam sarvam. Tat paraat parato ishas tanme manashiva sankalpamastu. Lord Shiva is the greater than Brahma and Hari. And Lord Shiva is actually has all the living and non-living entities under his control. Ishavasya Upanishad and Shiva Sankalpa Suktam says, Utamritatvas Veda para ishova Shiva eko dhyayaha Atharvashika Upanishad. And then Utamritatvas yeshanaha, Uta amritatvasya ishanaha. He alone is that immortal personified. He is that immortal personality. Purusha Suktam says, Ishanak sarva vidyanam, Ishanak sarva vidyanam, Ishwarak sarva bhutanam. We see that. So how to understand, here, Kamalasanastam, it says the personality is sitting in the lotus flower. No, it can refer only to that. Who is that personality who is sitting in the lotus flower? It can refer to only one personality. There cannot be like two people, And some people have translated like Shiva is sitting in the lap of Brahma, which doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even actually fit the meaning of the Sanskrit verse Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastam. So where it is described Shiva is sitting in the lap of Brahma. It's it's out of bigotry people have translated like that. So Brahmanam Isham, so it can, that Kamalasanastam, that sitting in the lotus flower can fit only one personality. So there is only one personality who can sit in the lotus flower. So here Isham, the word, is an adjective that is referring to Brahma. So Brahmanam Isham, Lord Brahmanam, that is Brahma. Isham, that Lord Brahma doesn't refer to Lord Shiva. It is an adjective referring to Brahma. So Lord Brahma is sitting in the lotus flower. Rishamscha Sarvan, with all the rishis surrounding him. Uragamscha Divyan, and also the divine serpents. So that's the correct understanding, because it can fit only one person. How can like two people sitting in, and in the Puranas everywhere you see Brahma is only sitting in the lotus flower. So it's actually Lord Brahma sitting in the lotus flower. And I thought of another way of explaining this actually. If you see the Rudrashtakam, many people, I hope they know it. Rudrashtakam written by Tulasidas. There it says Namamisham Ishana. It's a glorification of Lord Shiva. So it says, where does it? No, it says Namamisham Ishana. Namamisham Ishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam Nijam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Nirigam Chidakasham Akashabasam Bhajeham. Says, so the first line, know the first line, Namamisham Ishana. So Namami, my prostrations, Isham Ishana. So here we have to understand, Isham is an adjective. It doesn't refer to the personality Lord Shiva. Ishana is that Lord Shiva. Ishana. So Isham Ishana. Namam Isham Ishana. So Ishana refers to that personality, Ambikapati, Parvatipati, Parameshwara. So Isham comes in between Namam and Ishana. So that Isham is an adjective referring to Lord Shiva. So that's what here it is told as. So it depends on the case. You have to understand, sometimes it can refer to the personality, or sometimes it can refer to that, it can be an adjective to, the neighboring word. So here Isham, Namam Isham Ishana, Isham is an adjective to Ishana. So Isham is actually Lord. My prostrations to Lord Ishana. Ishana is that Ambikapati. So that's where here it says in Bhagavad Gita 11:15, Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastam. So within that lotus flower, Kamalasanastam, Lord Brahma is sitting. That's the thing. So that's about it. So because the Vishwarupam is shown by Lord Shiva only. That doesn't even make sense, when people translate like this. And moreover, Shaiva Acharyas and Advaita Acharyas have not translated that as Lord Shiva. So that's, so that's about it. That's what I wanted to say, and we are coming to close, because these were some of the objections that I wanted to answer. People were asking about it. Some of the takeaway points, so Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the 700 verses, it's connected only with Lord Shiva. Now, Yoga Maishwaram, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha. That's how the Bhagavad Gita ends. Yogeshwaraha, Yoga Ishwaraha. He is always in the yogic union with Ishwara, Lord Shiva. That's the understanding. So, Paramhi Brahma Katitam Yoga Yuktena Tanmaya comes, right? So we have to understand in that way. So Gita is connected only with Lord Shiva. It has nothing to do with Krishna. Krishna is just an instrument who conveys the message of Lord Shiva, and then to Arjuna. And then Mahadeva is the shower of Vishwarupam in Bhagavad Gita. And then we saw about the Arudra Darshana Nataraja dance, how to meditate on the divine cosmic dance of Chidambara Nataraja within that flame. Ananta Jyoti. Within that Ananta Jyoti, one should meditate on Chidambara Nataraja. So that's about it. Hope this Gita Jayanti lectures were good, and hope you enjoyed. Everything will be uploaded on YouTube. And tomorrow, so I think 2.5 weeks back, I started off with the Shiva Mahapurana Katha, because we just have 60, I think 60, right? Or 62 days. Or 61 days for Mahashivaratri. So with that intention, I started off with the Mahashivaratri Katha, and I have already covered Vidyeshwara Samhita in March 2021. One can refer those lectures, and that is uploaded on YouTube during Mahashivaratri 2021. And since 2022 Mahashivaratri is going to come up, I wanted to take up Rudra Samhita, which is the second Samhita in Shiva Mahapurana. So one of the I wish everybody should watch that, those two lectures. It's just 1 hour. It will be, helpful to attend tomorrow's lecture, I would say. So, one of the reasons is that usually the Shiva Mahapuranam or whatever that is Shaivam, it's branded as, Tamasikam. But, in this playlist, I would have explained how Lord Shiva and Shaiva Puranams are Shuddha Satvikam. There is not even a tinge of tamas in Lord Shiva. There are references where Vaishnava Puranams are described as Tamasikam. I would have explained everything in detail. I would have answered some of the objections raised also in those two, in the first video. In the second video, I would have started the Katha. So, people who are interested in attending the daily Katha, I would, highly encourage to watch that first video, which is for 35 minutes in this playlist. So that's about it, I took I remember taking 12 verses in the first chapter, creation, first section, first chapter of Rudra Samhita. I remember 12 verses I've taken where the sages were aspiring to know more about Lord Shiva. They were saying our ears are not satisfied by hearing the Vidyeshwara Samhita portion. We want to know more about Shiva Leela. How he married Sati, how he married Parvati, how he destroyed Daksha Yajna, and how Skanda was born, and how he destroyed Tarakasura. Please describe all these Leelas. Our ears are not satisfied. That's what the sages ask Suta Maharshi, and then he goes on to explain. So we'll be seeing that from tomorrow. And I'll chant the Kshama Prarthana mantra and then we can take up some questions. Om Yadaksharappadabhrishtam matrahinam tu yadbhavet tatsarvam kshamyatam deva parameshvara namostute visarga bindu matrani padapadaksharaani cha nyunani cha tiriktani kshamasva parameshvara aparata sagasrani kriyante harnisham maya daso yamiti mam matva kshamasva parameshvara anyata sharanam nasti tvameva sharanam mama tasmat karunya bhavena raksha maheshwari अन्यता शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष परमेश्वर एतत् सर्वं श्री उमामहेश्वर परब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु ललिताम्बिके साम्ब शिवार्पणमस्तु श्रीमति गौरी समेत साम्ब शिवार्पणमस्तु श्रीमति गायत्री समेत साम्ब शिवार्पणमस्तु करचरणकृतं वाक्कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा परातं विहितम् अभिहितं वा सर्वम् एतत् क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्दे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो माता च पार्वती देवी पिता देवो महेश्वर बन्धवा शिवभक्तांश्च स्वदेशो भुवनत्रयं साम्ब शिवाय नमः साम्ब शिवाय नमः साम्ब शिवाय नमः हर ओं तत्सत्।